Welcome to the Ringer Gambling Show, Friday edition. Cousin Sal here. Oh, my co-host Anthony Dabbundo, Danny Heifetz. As a result of last night's marquee sporting events, I have one tortured co-host and one who is delighted beyond words. Let's, of course, start with the tortured one. We have to do it. Anthony Dabbundo, your Philadelphia Phillies. What a scrappy team. They came in there, extra innings, down 2-1. Lose 2-1 in 11. We'll get to the crazy circumstances that led to that. I think it's the
Do we have
first
to?
walk-off error to walk off a series, I think. Obviously, you had Buckner and you end the game in game 6 for the Red Sox. But to end the series, did you hear this? I don't know if you heard this, Anthony. To end the series, this was the only time. Anyway, let's hear your thoughts. Worst loss ever for the Phillies? This is the Ringer Gambling Show presented by FanDuel. And if you're betting on the NFL, FanDuel's the place to do it. You've got everything. Same game parlays, quick bets for when you jump in live and your way. So you can set your own lines. The app's fast. It's easy to use. And best of all, when you win, you get paid out instantly. Download the FanDuel app or go to FanDuel.com/gamblers to get started. Yes, you must be 21 or older and present in select states and 18 or older in D.C., Kentucky, and Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut.
It's up there for me. The childhood haunting memory for me as a Phillies fan was 2011 National League Division Series Game 5 when the Phillies are down 1 run in the 9th inning and Ryan Howard comes up to the plate, hits a ground ball, tears his Achilles running to first base. And there's an image of Ryan Howard sitting on the ground, kind of just looking at his leg. And, I was 13 at the time, 12 years old. And that was like the end of the golden era of Phillies baseball in my childhood. That kind of spurned my love of this awful sport that we watch.
So that was the end of it. So last night shouldn't have been that bad if you knew.
Right.
It was
So I'm
over.
good.
Yeah.
I've moved on, but I was bought back in again.
I've moved on. He says about a story he's talking about from 17 years ago.
Heifetz, could Ryan Howard laying prone on the ground made a better throw to home than Orion Kirkering?
Probably would have known to go to first. At least Ryan Howard was running to first when he tore his Achilles.
Oh my goodness! All right,
in his defense,
go ahead.
Now there's the image of Kirkering, and it's Kirkering with his hands on his knees on the mound. There's a picture that's been all over the socials, and it's the Dodgers in the background celebrating winning this series, stealing this series. Really, when you look at some of the way these games played out, Phillies, as in true baseball fashion, hit more homers, had a higher average, drew more walks, gave up fewer runs, lost the series 3-1. On an aggregate though, so if you're a soccer fan, congrats to the Phillies on a series win.
Yeah, well, let's see. If you're a soccer fan, okay, well, yeah, all right. But let me think about this though for a second. So they lose this way. I mean, you were texting, oh, it was the right move to throw home. It was the right move. Well, and Dabbundo and I, or Heifetz and I, were like, whoa, I don't know. No, that's I have to say, I felt bad for the kid. Heifetz, I don't know if you saw the post game interview. He's sort of a mensch. He owned it. He's like, I fucking sucked. That was bad. I don't know what to do, but I want to give him the benefit of the doubt a little bit because he bobbled the ball. His momentum's coming home. I feel like unless you can underhand it there at that point, the throw is deferred. And obviously when they slow it down, they stop it. He's got about 51 feet to run to first base. So you had a good 2 Mississippi count before you could gather and throw. But also, Real Muto could be ready for the throw here. This is not a Thursday game in April, right?
It's a bad throw.
I don't blame Real Muto. I mean, it was the throw.
I know.
There was no chance he was going to get the throw to home plate in time. Like there was no throw, there was no opportunity, there was no way the throw was going to be at home plate. I understand. I mean, Real Muto's pointing at first base. I get how it's tough off the field and everything, and you kind of go blank. But also, it's not like as a pitcher with 2 outs with the bases loaded, you aren't thinking about what if I have to field the ball. Like you kind of do have to know to go first base in that situation. I get the pitch. I feel bad for the guy who pitched. I really feel bad for this guy, Kirk. I got to tell
you. And
also
that name is just hideous. I mean, I feel
bad. It's a great name. Ryan Kirkering?
It's a very memorable name that will be remembered forever. I feel bad for him. I got to tell you, I'm thrilled about everything else about this. I don't like Philadelphia. I don't like your godless city, Dabbundo. I don't like your people. I don't like the people who come from there. I don't like the fans. And
Hear, hear.
it was like the worst. I mean, Eagles. I don't remember the score of the game. I forget who won, but it really was like the worst Eagles Philadelphia game for this the day for Philadelphia, and man, 5 days probably for the city of
Oh
Philadelphia.
yeah. Oh, we'll
I
get
can't
them.
even
Penn
remember.
State
My
and
my
everything else.
my
Yeah.
friend just had his firstborn son. I'm very excited. Congratulations to him and his son Theodore. And since the kid has been born, which was Sunday, he's already been experienced more pain. Philadelphia sports. He doesn't even know it yet, but he's already been exposed to so much Philadelphia sports pain in his young life of 5 days.
I thought you were
Devastating.
going to say he named him Orion. I was like, oh boy, that's a bad
That's
move.
what I mean.
By the way, I went on
You know what it is?
Wikipedia. Yeah.
I want to
Yeah,
ask you guys this.
go ahead.
I feel old because when
Shut
I was younger,
shut up. We
no,
don't
no, no,
care
no.
anymore.
When I was younger and I would like get mad at older athletes and be like, oh, I feel like I was more angry. And
Yeah.
now I'm 26 and I'm yelling
Ugh.
at or upset with a 24-year-old baseball player who's like younger than me. So now it just feels weird. Do you guys feel that?
I don't. What I felt that for 40 years, of course. Yeah, yeah. But maybe this will make you feel better. I looked it up on Wikipedia. Kirkering shares his given first name, Richard, with his father and paternal grandfather, but they all go by their middle names, all of which are different. That's a red flag to me right away. I would not have added him to the roster. I'm like, what is going on with this family? This is a guy who's going to throw it home when he has a guy nailed it first by 40
There was a viral video. So Kirkering debuted in 2023, and there's a viral video. He comes in and he just dominates. He's an incredibly good reliever when he's on,
Right.
and when he's not required to throw the ball to any of the bases. And there's a viral video of his dad just like sobbing in the stands that
that's sad.
nobody cared about nationally because it was a random Phillies baseball game in like August.
Right.
But there's a video of his dad sobbing when Kirkering makes his MLB debut, and it's a pretty cool moment. I like the kid. He's got incredible stuff. I would bet on him to bounce back and learn from this, but I am not
Do you
betting on the
think the
city to
old
ever
man-
forgive him for this.
Do you think the old man sobbed more last night or during that time you were talking about?
Minus 10,000 last night.
Yeah,
I
I'm
wanna
gonna
have
say
fun with
last
this.
night.
I feel
I know,
bad.
it's
My
fine,
Mets-
it's
No,
fine.
it's
my
funny.
Mets-
It's
good. Yeah.
funny.
Go ahead.
I will just say, here's the one part I keep thinking about.
Yeah.
His literal career is throwing to home plate. His entire job.
Right.
His entire job's to throw home.
And he
then
should have
has to
thrown
move, like,
99.
8 feet away, and he's like, I don't even know how to do it. It's baseball's weird.
One of my friends said it looked like who's the guy in the wheelchair? Shit, I'm sorry. No, what's the guy? The genius guy.
Paul Pierce in the wheelchair.
No.
Oh,
Paul
no.
Pierce, no.
Stephen
Stephen
Hawking.
Hawking?
Stephen Hawking throwing out a first pitch. That's what it looked like. So I don't know. I
Oh,
haven't
it did
seen
look
that.
like Alvin Kamara's first pitch.
It looked like
the
a
one
lot
where-
of the worst first pitches we ever saw. By the way, my timeline is loaded up with Stephen Hawking doing crazy things, AI things, getting slammed at WrestleMania and getting just tossed by Conor McGregor. I don't know. I
think
to
that's
refresh.
Sister Jean. I don't think that's
Sister
Stephen
Jean.
Hawking. It's Sister
Rest in
Jean.
peace. Rest in peace. Yeah, she and the Phillies passed away last night. All right, so have we had enough fun? Heifetz, I'm not sure. We let this guy go?
No, we're going to talk about the Giants or what?
Let's do it.
I know he's from Philadelphia, but I'm like, I don't care.
Hey,
I
I'll
still
tell you
think
what.
of him as a godless Eagles fan, even if he's like roots of the Colts for some weird contrarian reason.
I had a funny encounter. So I watched the 11th inning of a game at a bar with a friend last night, and so they had both games on, and then a bunch of the Phillies people like were so upset. I think they just left and they were like, "Screw this!" But there was one really drunk, really obnoxious Eagles fan at the table next to us, and his girlfriend or fiance or wife or partner was not loving the display that her partner was putting on in this bar,
and
yelling.
You stole her from him.
At one point,
Yeah.
I turned to him after the interception that Hurts threw in the fourth quarter. I said, "You realize they're just kind of mediocre this year, right?" And he's like,
Wow.
And then he got mad at me. And then I was like, all right, I'm ignoring this guy. I don't know why I instigated or said anything. But yeah, I mean, like the results were papering over the cracks, right? That was the reality.
Was
Wait,
that the
what is
line
that?
you dropped
What
on
is-
his wife when she went home with you?
What is that? You
Yeah.
got to do better than that. Hi, Dabbundo, you're not going to be able to pick up girls like that.
I don't have game.
All right, listen.
I don't pretend to have game. We could get
This
into
show
that,
has
but
game. We got
let's
a
save
lot
that for
going
next
on.
week.
We have our 107 picks. We have baseball playoffs. More to talk about with baseball. We have our college football picks. We're going to do some handy clipping. We have the Ross Tucker interview ahead. But now to our giddy co-host. Wow, Heifetz. Wow. The Giants go in there and kick the Eagles' ass. They really did. 34-17. They kicked the crap out of them, bullied them. There were 4 plays where they didn't bully them, and it was 4 consecutive tush pushes. But that was it. Other than that, man, very physical. Good job by you. Goodbye the Giants. Sure, I lost money, but I'm giddy along with you whenever the Eagles lose.
I remembered last night. I love football. It has been so long. I don't think I've had that much fun watching a game in 3 years. I realized in the middle of this game with the Dart, Scatterboo, and I was like, oh my God, the Giants are like the most fun team in the league. Like, or at least like Scatterboo and Dart are the most fun. Maybe not, I don't know.
Wow.
Vibe around them. The vibe is Scatterboo. Like Scatterboo is probably the most popular player in the NFL right now. He is
3 days ago. They had 5 consecutive turnovers.
Yeah.
I don't. And then I don't care. They just destroyed the Eagles. I don't care. Your weird Saints thing. I don't care about you and your weird obsession with saying the Saints are mediocre instead of just really bad. Like the Giants. They rocked the Eagles. The Eagles suck.
They did.
Jalen Hurts. If we're being honest. Either the coordinator needs to be fired, or we need to admit that Jalen Hurts without an offensive line that's elite looks like a second-round pick. Jalen, like the amount of when Jalen Hurts blew the end of halftime, he didn't know what down it was, and they didn't have a timeout. He missed the interception. Should have been a touchdown to AJ Brown. That was a 14-point swing alone for Jalen Hurts right there. And then Devontae Smith, he missed
that
one touchdown.
Overthrow was awful. Yep.
Horrific. And it's like, how many times? Like, it's not just AJ. Lane Johnson's frustrated now. Lane Johnson kind of called out the play calling and then realized that mid-sentence and was like, I'm not calling anyone out after he called someone out. The Eagles look awful. Don't care. Dart is the future. I actually am excited again. And Scatterboo is the most fun player. I can't remember loving a random player so much so quickly. Like, it's not Saquon Barkley, the second pick, who was like a god at running back. Scatterboo is a 4th-round pick who is already, I think, one of my favorite Giants I've ever
Wow. Wow.
Better, higher or lower than Tommy DeVito?
Oh,
Yeah, you did love
Tommy
DeVito.
DeVito ruined my life because that was a bit for 3 weeks that somehow lasted 3 years, and he cost us Drake May and Jaden Daniels. But
that was a bit. I didn't even catch up that was a bit. All right,
When
so
was that a
Dabbundo,
bit?
here's
Clearly,
what,
you
here-
weren't eating pasta in the MetLife parking lots. What the hell?
My options here are to let it go, let it play out, much like I did Sunday night with Simmons and Drake maybe had a great game, and okay, I'll let you have your glory. And we could bring Heifetz down to earth and be like, yes, this is all right. You don't want to talk about the Saints, but this is the Giants. They look great. It was a Thursday game that they were just way more prepared for. And also, I have something else to say, Heifetz. As great as this Jackson Dart was, 17 for 25, 195, he had like almost 60 yards rushing. I'm going to predict that he has not a great departure from New York. I feel like a couple things, taking too many hits. You know that.
Yeah,
you
that's
know
a problem.
You know this is not long for this league. Like running, he's not Scatterboo, right? He thinks he's Scatterboo.
Scatterboo's
Launching himself.
He's
Yeah.
the Tasmanian devil. Will never change. He ran into telephone poles as a kid with pads on. Like Scatterboo
Right.
is not going to change. You're totally right about Dart. Ironically, no one remembers this. Daniel Jones's rookie year was really exciting. No one remembers this. He had a really good deep ball. He was faster. Like, he was really good, and he could make plays out of structure. And then he took a ton of hits, and he had a neck injury. And no one remembers this, but he had neck surgery, which is spinal surgery, and his deep ball.
I remember. Who do you think drove him to the hospital? I don't remember. Don't say we don't remember this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ambulance
Here's
is
the
so
other thing,
expensive.
though.
But you're right about Dart.
Maybe worse with Dart. I don't think he's handling the New York media already. Even after a win, he was like, you people tend to be negative, and the reporter's like, whoa, what do you mean? And like now he's like fumbling and trying to get through the catalog in his head, like, well, okay, when were they negative? Okay, only always, but what do I want to talk
Only
about
when I
here?
had an offense turned it over on 5 consecutive possessions against the Saints.
Also, you guys are always negative. The Giants have the worst record in the league the last 8 years. I don't think it's hard to find examples of people making fun of the Giants.
Is he a New York quarterback, though? Is he a New York quarterback?
People are in. People are in, man. Like the Scatterboo Dart relationship they're so weird. They're so weird. And it's beloved. But I agree with what you're saying, though. Dable's toxic trait, other than not being able to score in week 1 for like 4 years, whatever, is he's way too comfortable with the quarterbacks taking hits. And Dart is taking way too many hits that are not at the goal line or on 3rd down for first. And it's like he needs to never take contact if it isn't on 3rd down or at the goal line. And I agree. It's like, he's basically had 3 injury checks in 3 starts. And that freaks me out. Otherwise, I actually haven't been as excited in years.
Dable checking in on him in the blue tent, like creepily looking in there. Like, let me see. Are my next 10 paychecks in there? I have to say that really is what all comes down to. We can.
It's Scatterboo is
Russell Wilson.
In the tent.
Russ doesn't even get the playoff. And 2 hops at the receiver that never even got there.
So Russ bounced the pass, the one play he gets, and they boo him. has a player ever gotten booed faster than Russell Wilson coming out for one play? I couldn't believe that everyone organized the boos that
It
quickly.
was before he even dropped back. The play clock was at 0 for like a good 2 count there. I don't know. Heifetz, does Scadaboo end up a top 5 fantasy running back this year?
Top 10. Top 5 is tough because it's like there's Jonathan Taylor, there's McCaffrey.
I get it, but maybe
Javon.
Henry's dropping back a little. Barkley, we saw had a tough game. Does he pass those guys stats wise?
If the Giants keep scoring, yes, because the thing about Scadaboo that's funny, it's because he's a big back, and people think of him as he's a really good receiver. And I don't think people realize like he has really good hands. He had a ton of receiving yards in college, and he's also obviously huge and has the size for the goal line work. But like in fantasy, which is dumb, they do participation trophies for catches. I hate point per reception scoring.
Yeah.
But people love it because people love points, and the kids love the socialism of just like handing. Yeah, everyone gets a point for a catch. But
Right.
Scadaboo could very easily have 5 to 6 catches a game, and also if he's going to score a bunch and be the goal line guy, like he could be. He's probably one of the. There's only 10 players each year in fantasy that really decide the season, and he seems like he'll be one of the 10.
I went against that creep Danny Kelly, your buddy who had Scadaboo in our fantasy Ringer fantasy at 30. I'm down 30 points there.
I'll say it for you.
100%.
Your team has been incredible this year. You have the most points by a lot.
Good. I have Jefferson and Lamb now. I have to sit, one for a bye and one for an injury. Dabbundo, I'm looking at these odds for the East. Philly minus 125. Oh my God. 2 weeks ago, we thought they'd run away with it. Washington plus 175, Dallas plus 550, Giants plus 6,500. I'm not one of those guys that be like, oh, Philly should be 1-5, but Philly should be 1-5. I'm gonna say it. They could be 2-4. Just flip those Rams and Cowboys, results. And we're looking at a 2-4 team. They're playing more like a 2-4 team. That said, I don't know that I want to take a chance with Washington or Dallas or, God forbid, the Giants. What do you think, Dabbundo?
The problem is trying to make the case for anybody else to go on a
Yeah.
big run. Because
Right.
who's the team? You could sell me on the Commanders if Jane Daniels is going to be healthy the rest of the year, but he's already had an injury, and that offense did look like it was kind of back to what we saw last week. But it still took them a half, and I don't know that they're gonna be able to run the ball on defensive lines that are healthy like they did last week against the Chargers depleted line. I don't know. Dallas, if Dak keeps playing an MVP level.
We beat Carolina. We're a half game out with the home game against Philly. It could happen. Heifetz Giants are 65-1. What's the real number, though? I mean, that's with a lot of drunk New York money coming in. What is it
The
really?
real number, I told you, in February, we did a show after the Super Bowl. We talked, and I have the Giants to win the Super Bowl at 450-1. And
That's a Super Bowl.
Quit my job and retire because of the amount of money I put on that. Because I was like 450 times. I think we could win once.
Well, has that changed a lot? I don't. What
it
are
has
they
gone.
now?
Yes, I have a plus
Wait.
EV on that at this point. I can
They're
cash
so
out.
if we
400
get
to
if
1
we
now.
get
They're
if
400
we get
to
a
1 now.
Giants Colts Super Bowl, Heifetz, then you're done.
Oh wow.
Because
Yeah,
you're
no, that was-
you said you'd retire if Danny Dimes won a Super
is
Bowl.
true. I would-
and you said you'd retire if the Giants won the Super Bowl.
That's
So
true.
Colts Giants.
That
What are
is
the odds
true.
on that?
I'd have to do so
Inevitable.
much scrolling. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Colts, Giants.
Not offered.
To your
Yeah.
point, though, Sal, I do
Bet
think
rejected. They send you the phone number.
2,000-1. Actually, I did see it. Yeah.
it's easy to be
2001.
like. It's easy to be like, you know what, just bet on the Eagles to win the division. But I'm like, you're right. It's hard to point the team. Part of me just thinks Washington, but and it probably will look back and be like, oh, if the Eagles right the ship, you'll be like, oh, that would have been good money. However, Jalen Hurts throwing AJ Brown right now looks like Orion on the Phillies. like all these passes to AJ Brown look like he's trying to
I already
throw to
moved
home.
on from this 14
It is
years
tough
ago,
to figure
Heifetz.
which was the worst Philly athlete throw. Was it the overthrow to Devontae Smith or
Yeah.
Ryan Richard, whatever he wants to call himself? Yeah, it's tough. It's good. All right, well, congratulations, Heifetz, for the week. That's fun. It's fun times to see your team win. Now you don't have to worry about the Sunday game. It's great. Let's do baseball. All right, we'll leave you alone, Dabbundo. But on the other side, it's going to be Brewers Cubs. 6-0 Cubs. Pretty freaking impressive by them. 5 pitchers combined for a 3-hitter. And now you go to game 5, which is Saturday night. Oh, good. Oh, they're doing it at night. That's fun. Minus 130 for the Brew Crew home. What are your thoughts just about how the Cubs have come back here?
The Milwaukee offense has been so Jekyll and Hyde. It's frustrating to figure out. And I don't really know how the Cubs or Brewers are getting 27 outs in this game. My immediate belief when you get these, game 3, game 5, game 7s is to bet under the Dabbundo, of course, but the pitching plan is dicey. So
All arms
inherently,
on deck, right? They haven't even
all
named
arms on
pitchers.
deck.
Yep.
I mean, I assume everybody but Peralta and Boyd will be available. So I think on principle, you have to look to the under. It's been like a 70% proposition in decisive game 5s and game 7s over the last 20 years. And every team, there's no pitcher that gets to see a lineup probably twice, really, in this game.
Right.
There's no pitcher that's going to be able to be left out there to potentially blow the game. And Chicago's offense is very reliant on the long ball, but the one thing the Milwaukee bullpen has generally done a good job of this year has been preventing the long ball. So that could limit the Cubs offense. Ultimately, I don't know. I know you got a Cubs series bet. My pick was Brewers in 5, so I guess I should stick by it and take Milwaukee, but I think the only bet I'll actually make for this game is under 7.5.
I've been wrong. Even if I picked the team right, my analysis has been way off. I can't believe the Dodgers, sorry, more salt in the wound. Their bullpen held up. I mean, we're looking at a 1-1 game in the 11th. Are you kidding me? With that bullpen, that's ridiculous. But moving to the AL, though, Heifetz, Tigers, Mariners. Now, it was Dabbundo, you said this was going to be 160 because Schoolball's pitching game 5. I was like, wow, that might be a little high on the road. It's 138 last night, now minus 126 for the Tigers on the road. Game 5, Mariners take back is plus 108. Heifetz, what's your play of the day? This is tonight. It's going to be fun.
So I this is probably where I'll expose myself as not that smart, but
okay.
If you take the Tigers with the spread, which is giving a run and a half, it's plus 146.
Right.
And I understand giving a run and a half. I'm like, it's the Mariners. You got the big dumper and all that. But and also betting against the Mariners feels a little, I don't know. The Mariners are really fun. However, Scooble is, to me, like heads and shoulders the best pitcher in the world. And I just kind of don't want to bet against it. Like, I know, they ended up losing that game that he started a few days ago. But I'm like, I just kind of don't see the problem with Tigers giving a run and a half at plus 146. I'm like, yeah. It's also Scooble first pitch over 100 miles an hour is 13-1.
Whoa.
Just saying.
What do you know about that? You know something? Did he reach out to friends who reached out to you? I don't know.
Yeah, I got a guy telling me about the mound. I don't know if you guys know this. The mound measured. And so
the most manipulable prop in all of sports. First pitch of an inning, of a game, of a whatever.
Oh, you think? You think there's been any recent evidence of players manipulating the first pitch of the inning?
You could say tush push could be gone, might come back. This is definitely going to be gone as a prop. They have to take this down. It's too crazy. It's the color of the Gatorade is less predictable, like with the equipment manager. But I'm going against you here, Heifetz. I'm gonna, Scooble's 0-2 against the Mariners this year. Seattle's won 3 of Scooble's starts. Kirby on the other end pitched well, 2 runs in 5 innings. Seattle lost that game. Someone looked this up. 9 times the Detroit has scored at least 9 runs in a game, and then 2 or less every time the next game. So J.P. Crawford, Jorge Polanco, 14 for 37 against Scooble. I think you get a good number, plus number at home for Seattle. That place can be hopping. 51 home wins. You're with me, maybe not for that reasoning, Dabbundo, but you like the Mariners.
Well, the total's 5.5. You don't see that very often.
Right.
So for the same reason, I would be like, well, you kind of like unders in these decisive games. One, as great as Scooble is, he is a guy who will see the third time through. And Detroit is going to try to hide their middle relief. The most interesting part of this game for me is what does Seattle do with their pitching? Because they do have 2 different starters on regular rest. They could use Kirby's going to open. Of course, he's going to start the game. Would they go to Castillo in the bullpen? Because the one thing, and this series may end up turning on this, is that in game 4, Seattle got a decent start from Bryce Miller, but they had to cover the middle innings, 5, 6, and 7 to get to their back end. And those guys were taking on water. Bizzardo, Spire, they got smoked. And the Detroit blew the game open. If I'm Dan Wilson, I have no faith going to those guys again in this game. So do we see like a Kirby, Castillo, then they go to Brash and Munoz at the back end? There's all kinds of different interesting permutations for Seattle to manage this, whereas Detroit, it's easy. It's like, all right, Scooble until his arm falls off, and then we'll get to our closers. So yeah, like the market is odd here now. Like there's been a lot of Seattle money. Detroit closed minus 155 in game 2 with Scooble on the mound against the same team. Now it's only minus 125. So it is a little harder to be like, well, but I
Yeah.
still think Seattle's going to win it at home. Somehow they'll take down Scooball. It'd be so funny for Seattle to win the series despite not beating Scooball in either, or beating Scooball in both starts to get there when we all thought like, oh, Detroit just needs to get one and then they're going to be fine. Scooball will win them the
Well,
series.
either way, there's crazy irony, right? Yeah, if they beat Scooball 3, it'll be in 4 Scooball starts this year. That'll be insane for the Mariners. If the Tigers win the way out as bad as they were playing towards the end of the season, then just to beat Cleveland, who they were end up chasing, and then survive the Mariners to play Toronto, that's something. You said 5.5 is the over on that. I don't think I've seen many of those. I'd like maybe like Kevin
Game
Brown,
one,
Maddox.
or no, sorry, game 2 was 5.5.
It was?
went.
Are you
Yeah.
sure? But the VIG is only like minus
Scooball.
120 for the over. That's something else. That's
That park is like the biggest pitcher's park.
Yeah.
Plus you got Tarek Scooball.
they're playing all 9
pretty-
innings, right? Yeah.
They
okay.
are. It went under. Game
Yeah.
Game 2
Well,
went
you
under.
mentioned Maddox. Scooball. I mean, didn't Scooball do a Maddox this year? Complete game under 100 pitches.
Kind of the
Like,
same.
He's capable.
Yeah.
And he was
Heifetz, I
throwing
like,
100 in the 9th inning.
I like laying the run and a half with the team that's going to bat for sure 9 times, right? Like no, but honestly, like if you had the Mariners minus 1.5 that inning, it's like you get a wasted inning if they're up. So that sucks. All right, you have a World Series pick. The Dodgers are favored at plus 110. The Blue Jays are plus 320. The Mariners plus 750, and then it goes higher and higher and higher. Dabbundo, I took the Dodgers to win the World Series at plus 550, but I think your reasoning is the same as mine. Like if they get by the Phillies, it's not exactly smooth sailing, but that was going to be the toughest challenge.
Yeah, I bet the Dodgers before, and I said whoever wins this series, I will add more to. That was my
Right.
plan going in, and here we are. I hate myself. It's my weekend hate bet, but let's be honest. I think we just watched the World Series, and I may be wrong. I don't want to be disrespectful to Toronto, to Detroit, to Seattle, to Chicago, to Milwaukee. All those teams are very good. I don't think any of them have anywhere near the starting pitching quality that Philadelphia threw at the Dodgers and kept that lineup down. The Dodgers hit 199 in the series and still won because they have 4 guys who can dominate a lineup like nobody
Right.
else in this thing. And there are some legitimate things to say, like, okay, it's a 7-game series now. There's fewer off days. Can the Dodgers do their crazy pitching plan where they're using all these starters? And
Right.
like they're gonna have to use more of their bullpen, so that could be a risk. But let's be honest here. Like,
Isn't
they're going to
it-
have a starting pitcher advantage in every single start they make the rest of the season, except for if they were to play Scooball in the World Series.
Are they going to be that big of favorites individual games to make it? Because I'm looking at plus 110. I like them to win the World Series now, but isn't it better maybe to just take them every individual game? Are they going to be a minus 240 at any point? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah. All right. Okay. See, we dissect things, Heifetz, and we eventually come to almost no conclusion. That's the way to do it.
The hole in the Dodgers Death Star is just Emmett Sheehan. He's the only guy that when he's out there, I'm like, I have no faith in him whatsoever.
And he throws
Saki-
98 with a sick breaking ball.
Yeah.
He's the hole.
I mean,
That's the
yeah,
hole. I mean,
that's
come on.
Kinda.
Uh,
He's
Four
I mean,
runs
he's
in
not a
his
reliever
last
by trade.
3 innings.
Yeah, he's not a reliever by trade for sure.
all right, guys, we're going to get to
He
our,
also
yeah.
had a bad error that almost cost him the game.
Yeah, he should
That
have
would-
gone
we
to
would've-
first, but he threw home. It was terrible.
No, when he ran it for the Bundo trying to do that. Well, I think they call that deflecting when a pitcher makes an error. Did they give him the error for that? I guess they did, right?
Sheehan, yeah.
They did.
But they
He
gave him
never-
his walking papers.
that was that. All right, let's take a quick break. I'm going to read this to you. The Ringer Gambling Show is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays on the way, and FanDuel's coming in with something extra. That's right. Right now, all customers can get a 50% PBT on any bet. It's your chance to place that perfect parlay or hit your go-to player prop. And now we're making it even better. You could do 65-1 on the Giants to win the Super Bowl. Was that parlayable? Probably not, but we will get to some stats where you can parlay. However you play your game, FanDuel's got your back because that's what Sunday should feel like. Visit FanDuel.com/gamblers to download the app and get in on the action. Before kickoff, you must be 21 or older and present in select states or 18 or older and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonuses are issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Do we do this Ringer 107? Do we have to talk about this, Dabbundo? It's so sad what happens to us. It's brought to you by FanDuel, today's Ringer 107. They pitted 5 shows against each other on the Ringer channel, whatever we're doing.
Such a mind fuck.
It's no good. The Handicappos, that's mine and your team, Dabbundo. We're 2-3, 11-14. That doesn't tell the story at all, though. Ringer Fantasy, Heifetz, your team was 3-2 last week. You're 12-13. I think Shield is at the bottom, right? But by a game. It's an unimpressive graphic whenever we put it out there. It's really junk. It's really sad that we have. Do we have to put the graphic
And
up every week?
as we predicted, we were head to head twice last week, and we went 1-1 on those two. You guys had the Giants and the Lions. We had the Bengals and the Saints. We split them.
Happens a bunch this week too, right? I think we're head to head.
We are
three times. Is that it?
Almost 4.
All right. So listen, we're 11-14, but we lost out on 2 of the worst beats of the century, really. Arizona over Tennessee, and worse than that was Philly and the Rams, right? So I don't know what to say. There was another couple bad ones in there, but let's do it. We have to pick 5 games. I get 3 this week, Dabbundo, which may not be a good idea. I'm going to take Seattle plus 1.5 over Jacksonville. I have Jacksonville to win the division, so I'm enjoying this run, but I don't love them giving points or a point, whatever, especially after a win. On the road, Seattle's 9-1 straight up and 6-3-1 under Coach McDonald. That's crazy. And since 2018, the Seahawks are 15-8 against the spread, playing in the Eastern time zone. Jacksonville's in these games before because they force turnovers. Sam Darnold, believe it or not, is doing a great job protecting the ball. 1 interceptions in last 80-something pass attempts. Jaguars 27th versus the pass. JSN, I think, has a big game. Seahawks do it again on the road. 29-23. Let's go, Dabbundo. You like that one?
I do. I'm on the Seahawks as well. I mean, I thought it was funny Tuesday morning when I saw everybody hyping up the Jags defensive coordinator following this this win against the Chiefs. And I know that I was distracted because I was at the Phillies playoff game and I missed some of the which they lost, and I missed some of the game. But when I looked at the box score and then I looked at the game again and watched the fourth quarter, the Jags defense gave up the highest success rate of any team in the NFL this year,
right,
by 7 full percentage points.
Right.
Like Kansas City was playing pitch and catch all over the yard. Mahomes makes a dumb throw in the end zone. It flips the game. But I feel like the Jags defense went from underrated at the beginning of the year by the market to really overrated really quick with this line. And they're giving up a ton of big plays. They're giving up a lot of easy pitch and catch. And they've forced 5 more turnovers than every other team in the NFL. So I feel like there's some clock striking midnight element with the defense. And Seattle's offense continues to cook. And that was my one take. It turns out their defense might not be as good as I thought, but I do think they're going to be getting Witherspoon and potentially Lawrence back. So that would make a huge difference for this defense. We're not sure yet on the Friday practice reports, but they were trending toward in. Even if Love is out again this week, I think the secondary will be a little better. Seattle, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, Heifetz, like when a running back goes for 99-yard run, it's like, oh my God, that guy's great. That's unbelievable. Look at that Derrick Henry. How many times are we going to watch him do it? Stiff arm 4 guys down the field. But when there's a pick 6 like Jacksonville had against Kansas City last night, how much of that do you attribute to luck? I don't know if that's a defense playing great. Mahomes threw it right in the breadbasket of a player, and he ran it back, and no one seemed to want to tackle him except for Mahomes, who slowed him down, but not nearly enough. Isn't it weird how we view those things?
You can call it luck in the sense that I think luck is opportunity meets preparation. And
wow.
I think that
oh my God, motivational speaking.
Philosophical here.
When's your TED Talk, Heifetz?
We've been doing it for like 45 minutes when I call the Eagle the Philadelphia godless place. I think the thing about pick sixes and turnovers like that is that even if you want to say that it's not luck, it's still not necessarily replicable. And turnovers, they're not random luck. It's somewhere in between, but it's not easy to project that forward. The same way the Jets somehow don't have a turnover for the first time in 5 games, literally on record since like the 1930s. Watch them lead the league in turnovers in the second half of the season. Stuff just happens. But
people just eventually fumble the ball, and you happen to be there to pick it up.
Yeah, Devin Lloyd's having a good year. Seattle's better. but Jacksonville's healthier, and I agree. I want to see who plays, especially Ernest Jones. That defense requires a middle linebacker.
Right. All right. So let's move
Most
it along.
defenses require a middle linebacker.
Dabbundo, that's true. That's true. I did do some research on that. Dabbundo, this Saints pick, I love this. The Saints win over the Giants look so much better now. And Spencer Rattler, surprisingly, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception through 5 games, completing 67% of his passes. I love this Saints plus 3.5. Take us through it.
Well, it's a classic, like, don't beware of the team who looked a little too good the week before, right? And I think that NFL betting traditionally, like this line before the Patriots-Bills game would probably be under 3. Now you're getting a full extra point for a team playing a second consecutive road game. And I know Heifetz doesn't want to hear about it, but the Saints, they ain't the Aints. This team is beautifully mediocre. Are the Patriots good enough to be laying 3.5 on the road against a beautifully mediocre Saints team that can run the ball a little bit? It's got Taysom Hill in the gadget plays in the red zone now. Rattler is actually 14th in success rate, higher than a certain Jackson Dart, it should be said. But also, this Patriots team isn't able to run the ball. Neither team, I think, will be able to run it much in this game. But the Patriots' inability to run the ball, like, they're putting a lot of pressure on Drake May. And to this point in the season, Drake May's done a stellar job. But again, on the road here, laying more than a field goal. This is a classic. Like, yes, we think the Patriots are now going to make the playoffs because of their schedule. It doesn't actually make the Patriots week to week a bet on team just because of that. So give me the Saints. Maybe it'll be a Drake maybe week.
It has to be. That's the whole point of the Drake maybe. It's every other week. Yeah. But Heifetz, you have to admit, even though you and your cronies are going against us, taking the Patriots, as far as a spot goes, this is prime for a letdown for the Patriots. Big division win that they didn't, no one really thought they were going to have going into the year. Sunday night, little bit of rest disadvantage, and then going on the road against, as Dabbundo says, a mediocre Saints team. But you're taking the Patriots.
I am, and you're right. It is a letdown spot. And you know who the person who gets that the most is? Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel, Drake May and got all the headlines and stuff. That Bills win was about Mike Vrabel being an incredible coach, just as much as it was about Drake May. I think Mike Vrabel is a significantly better coach than Kellen Moore. I think that he's the best game planning coach in the NFL on a week-to-week basis right now. I guess defensively.
Whoa!
Oh, I don't even think that's I can't say
what,
but dude,
what in the NFL, the National Football? You're not talking about the East, the AFC East. You're talking about the whole league.
You think who is even in the conversation?
They lost to the Raiders and they barely beat the hideous Dolphins. Look, we can calm down a little bit. On the Patriots, no.
LaFleur,
Dan
Shanahan
Campbell,
just coached
sure, if you want to say Dan Campbell, sure. I think
the mash unit of the 49ers didn't have QB1, RB. Or wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2.
I'm not going to put anyone over Shanahan. I'm talking about
You
Shanahan
just
for
said
offense.
the best.
Well, I guess I meant defensively. That's fair. Defensively, like if the way Vrabel is able to scheme defense to shut down other opponents. Josh Allen looked awful on Sunday Night Football. I'm just saying it's really simple. I'd take Vrabel over Kellen Moore. I will take Drake May over Rattler. And to your point about being wary of betting a team coming off a big win, that's what you're doing. You're betting on the Saints. Their only win of the year.
Yeah. Okay. All right, but they're good. We saw your Giant. You have to be a little impressed now with the Saints.
Yeah,
if you're going to say the Giants are good, yeah,
they beat the best team in the league.
There you go. All right, third one. San Francisco plus 3. As long as we're talking about them, I'm also enjoying Baker and Tampa Bay's success because I have them going to the Super Bowl. But the 49ers might be the horseshoe up their ass team of the year. First of all, we're likely looking at Mac Jones, which is fine. This team is 4-0 with him somehow. But either way, this always injury-plagued team had 10 days to prepare, whereas Tampa equally beat up. And look at this. Coming off a straight-up win, Baker 2-9 against the spread in his last 11 as a favorite. You say San Francisco first half or first quarter might be the better bet here. We can't do that, Dabbundo. Our hands are tied with what kind of 107 bets we can make here. They have not allowed a first quarter point all year, and Tampa Bay offense tends to start slow. So those might be the better plays, first half, first quarter, San Francisco. But we're going to take the full 3 points, Dabbundo, with the Ringer 107 and the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, I think both defenses kind of stink. Looking back, what the Eagles, the best half, the only 2 really great halves we've seen from Philly in the last month One of them was the first half against Tampa when Jalen Hurts was playing great football.
Mhm.
The only good half he's had in a few weeks now. But ultimately, the Bucs secondary is banged up. The Niners can't get any pass rush. This game, to me, screams last team with the ball wins. And that's,
Mhm.
I mean, shit, that's every Baker Mayfield game at this point. So the Bucs will probably come down and win this by 1 or 3 or something stupid. But in that kind of matchup, when you know that the 49ers run defense remains really good, it's going to be a lot of Baker, like 3rd down and 8. All right, here we go. What can he do now? And he's been
Mhm.
doing it all year to his credit, but it's hard to keep sustaining that. So yeah, with the 3 here, I do like the Niners. I also bet the over in this game, 47.5. I think, like I said,
All
both
right.
defenses are flawed. And if Bowles wants to bring his blitzes, Shanahan will have the easy button answers for Mac to just play pitch and catch.
Is it bring your own blitzes day? I didn't see the invitation. I'll have to check that. Yeah. All right, Dabbundo, these last 2 picks, I don't love yours and you hate mine, but we're going with them. And I know
Yes.
Heifetz is going against this one as well. Atlanta
He's
plus
ahead
4.5
against both.
Well, that's right. He's going against both. Well, yeah, he might be wise for the last one, but I don't. The only thing I'll say about this is Buffalo going to embarrass themselves 2 primetime games in a row? Are they going to come out? Are they even going to have back-to-back losses in the next 5 years? That doesn't say that they cover the 4.5, but give us your take on why Atlanta is going to cover this game.
Dream spot, right? Coming off the bye. Atlanta did reshuffle the deck on their offense quite a bit here. And it's only 1 game.
Mm-hmm.
And it was against an okay Commanders defense, but it was at home. And Atlanta played faster.
Yep.
They looked cleaner on offense. They got the ball down the field. Like, if you watch the first few weeks of the season, you're like, why is Michael Penix, who's one of the best arm talents in the NFL, throwing captain checkdowns all the game just so they can
Right.
get the ball to Bijan more? They really threw the ball down the field, and they were able to exploit a pretty bad Washington secondary. Well, now they get this Buffalo defense, which is mediocre at best at this point in the season. So I think Atlanta has the opportunity to go score for them. I don't like they're going to be able to run it on Buffalo. Both teams should be able to run it in this game. It comes down to, one, is the Bills defense right now good enough to lay 4.5 on the road against an explosive offense? I say no. So I like the over in this game too. Like a bunch of overs this week, could be ugly. And I like Atlanta plus 4.5. I think this game, again, comes down to the final possession. So I'm happy to take the 4.5 at home.
All right. Heifetz, you and your Ringer Fantasy life partners laugh at Dabbundo and his analysis right there because you are going Bills full steam ahead.
I respect Dabbundo dearly and
But
categorically reject everything he just said, starting with the home field advantage. I personally ignore home field advantage at any stadium where at any point they've ever had a pumping crowd noise. I'm not very afraid of the Atlanta Falcons.
don't look at the Colts home stats this year, Heifetz.
Yeah. I just want Josh Allen in primetime. I just think the Bills are just, I don't want to say going to wax him, but I think the gap between Josh Allen and Michael Penix will be very clear. I like Penix a lot. I think he could be a good quarterback. He's also had 9 and 8 NFL starts. This is like his 9th start. I just am so the Falcons are losers. I'm sorry. This team lost. Oh, like people. I think this line is skewed because they're number 1 in DVOA on defense. I don't care. They lost to the Panthers 30-0 2 weeks ago. Like the Washington game, they got 27 points to Marcus Mariota. Are those not 2 of the worst 3 quarterbacks in the entire league? Bryce Young and Mariota this season. I am not convinced. You said they reshuffled the deck. They're reshuffling the deck on the chairs of the Titanic, moving the coordinator from the booth to the sideline because they had to fire the receivers coach. Like, this is a desperate team, and I just don't.
I mean, how desperate are they? They're 2-2 coming off the bye. I mean,
they fired the receivers coach because like 3 weeks into the season,
and then he was clearly a problem.
Was that their last game? I feel like they've played like
have
2
you been
games.
auditing the performance of the Atlanta Falcons positional coaches?
kind of.
Wait, so they lost they got shut out by the Panthers before their bye, and this is their first game?
No,
they had another game.
Week 3 they got shut out. And
Yeah.
Then they I wouldn't say waxed.
You
But they
just can't
controlled the game
unsee
against
certain things.
Washington.
I watched that.
Oh, right.
I
They
just-
watched it. Yeah. Okay.
I can't I don't care that
That's
they beat
right.
Washington.
All right. My last one, our last one, Dabbundo. Baltimore plus 7.5. You hate
Yeah,
me for
you're gonna
this
have
one.
to sell me on this one.
You didn't even know they were
It's
back
so
in the
gross
league,
that it might be
Baltimore.
great.
It's
What?
ugly. No one at all has this pick. This is like a collection of. I'm trying to think of what you could collect that's ugly and it's only yours, but maybe valuable. Like if you were a taxidermist collecting like stuffed pelicans or something.
It's
like nobody
gold
wants
member. It's gold. Remember, he collects the patches of skin off the top of his head.
That's
Austin
it.
Powers.
Okay. But can he sell those? Can he do anything like with that? Because I think this is going to be profitable. I mean, the Rams screw everything up. They screwed up that Eagles game. They screwed up the San Francisco game. Dabbundo, if your team wasn't so stupid, they would have lost that Colts game. I get it. It's a tough, big mountain to climb here. Ravens give up 35 points a game. I think it's a little better this week. Backups are 13-8 against the spread versus McVay. Let's go, Cooper Rush. The Rams only 3 sacks in the last 2 games. Maybe Cooper Rush is a little more comfortable back there. Henry struggling, but definitely a big play potential. Heading into a bye. I think they play hard last week without Lamar Jackson. 30-26, Ravens plus
20.
+7.5.
If the Ravens score
Go ahead.
26 points with Cooper Rush, I will be floored.
Well, this is a Costanza. This is like the Summer of George when he's like every instinct I have is wrong.
Yeah.
And the opposite must be true. And like this is one of the we did this last week as a bit because we kept joking that the Ravens had no shot. And we
Right.
were like, that kind of means we think they're going to cover. So we took the Ravens as a bit last week and obviously lost. And then maybe this is your
Lost
galaxy
badly.
brain, Sal. This is right. Where
Yeah.
it's like, I can't think of a single reason that this will win. So maybe it's inevitable.
You know, we're smarter than those people will be like, you are absolutely crazy to take the Ravens here. And then my counter is like, okay, how much you betting on the Rams? Like, well, I don't know. Like, yeah, it's 50-50. It's
But then
encouraged to-
they'll tell you after the game how obvious it was.
Oh, yeah, after the game, of course.
Well,
yes.
They'll be like, wow. Yeah.
My point is, you keep betting Cooper Rush plus big points, you're gonna eventually win a game, right? And so I think this is a spot. The Rams are assholes. They
Are
really
you opening
You
up a
just mad at the
Martingale?
Rams. You just
I'm
mad
just
about
so- I
Thursday
am
night.
mad at
This
the
is just
Rams.
Thursday night.
I
You're
know.
just tilting.
I
You're doing the overcorrection. You're mad about Thursday night, and you're gonna lose more money on this.
All right, you're right.
And I'm
you're
trying
right.
to ghost to Christmas future help you here. Like you're just Bill keeps saying the FanDuel thing should pop up and say you're betting on Cooper Rush to beat Matt Stafford. Puka
Right.
Nacua is 7 catches away from the most catches ever through 6 weeks. Matt Stafford's playing honestly as good as he's played in years. And the Ravens are
Right.
literally allowing 35 points a game. So I just want to like
Okay. What should the line be then? What would you change? What would it have to be for you to stay away from this?
10 and a
At
half.
10, I think at 10 I would bet
10?
the Rams.
It has
Or
to
the,
be
double
the,
digits?
the Ravens.
All right. Look, it doesn't matter for me and Dabbundo. We're going to lose. We're going to be winning a game that there's no 99.9999% chance we should win. We should predict, Dabbundo, which is going to be our betting.
This is the
week.
one.
This is the one? Oh, so we'll have been.
Cooper
we'll have
Rush
been in
will
it.
be
Yeah.
will get
Go
the
ahead.
ball down 7 with 4 minutes to go, and he will throw a deflected pick that gets
Right.
returned, but it will not be a pick 6. They will give us just a modicum of hope, and then the Rams will punch it in and
But
win by
that's
14.
we've seen that before. We have experienced
think I need to go
losses
crazier?
that nobody has ever, like dropping the ball at the goal line or a block field goal run back for it. We've seen some stuff that hasn't. Like, I think for this game, Justin Tucker would have to kidnap the actual kicker and sneak on the field in his jersey and miss a 25-yard field goal that would have cut the deficit to 7. Like, we need something. Like in the Seattle game, I have like Sam Darnold gets tackled by a ghost he claimed to see 6 years ago, and the ghost causes a fumble and run back. Jacksonville's Devin Lloyd, second defensive touchdown, 6 days. Something like that. It's got to be something crazy like that.
Cooper Rush fumbles on the Hail Mary, and it gets returned for a
Yeah,
touchdown.
his own Hail Mary. Yeah. All right, Heifetz, you have 2 games that we have not gone over. Colts -7.5 and Dallas -3. Do it.
So we had a theme this week. We're laying a lot of points. So this is probably going to be the best week for underdogs in 30 years
Yeah.
because we literally took all favorites. We have the Bills over the Falcons, as we mentioned. You have the Pats over the Saints. I'm doing the Rams over Ravens because no offense to you, Sal. Like I would just betting on. We want Stafford. We want Josh Allen. We want Drake May.
Good
we
for
have
you.
Dak.
All right.
We're just betting on just a lot of good quarterbacks playing bad quarterbacks this week. So I'm doing Dak versus Price. I'm like, Dallas is going to score. I want to see it when I believe it that the Panthers can keep up because I just don't believe it with Carolina. And then we're also doing the Colts giving 7.5 to Arizona because we have resolved to just keep betting the Colts until we lose money. And it's currently working very well. And we will not stop betting the Colts until we lose, at least twice.
So, Sal, will you give me kudos? I need kudos. Can you give me kudos for betting Colts -4.5 earlier in the week?
That's good. That's a good one. Wow.
Thanks.
You want
How'd you
kudos
do
or do you
that?
want money?
Yeah. forget
Well,
about-
I'm not going to get money. The bet never wins when I get more than 3
Can we
points.
put our
so-
107 picks in on Monday? I don't know.
Oh,
let's
we would
just
be doing
do it.
so much better.
Oh, anything. Dallas -3. I'm only skeptical because of our history against the Panthers and much worse Panthers teams, by the way, we've lost to. Everyone's locking in this Cowboys offense. The defense, you don't know what's going to show up week to week. And the fact that we could be a half game out of the NFC East race is interesting. I wanted to crush the Panthers defense, 12th against the pass, 10th overall. They're not that bad. They're really not that bad. So we're going to have to struggle with this one. Today's Ringer 107 brought to you by FanDuel. Odds are subject to change, as Anthony Dabbundo just spelled out. He had a 4.5. That's now a 7.5. Let's do our hate bet.
Wait. We have a scandal developing in
What
the Ringer
happened?
107 You didn't hear. So there's
I'm
a text
not looking
happening,
at any text. Yeah,
and we're the only pod left, so we need to discuss it.
go ahead.
Raheem Palmer sent a message in the Ringer 107 group chat
Yeah,
at 12:26 p.m.
this is going to infuriate me. I know it already, but go ahead. Yeah,
The lines you sent out yesterday. This is to Bill.
yeah.
The lines you sent out yesterday had Denver -7, but on the Ringer 107 graphic that was just tweeted,
Yeah.
they have House and Simmons with Denver -6.5.
Yeah, we got to get that. That's got to
And
be
then he put
straightened out.
the
Yep.
questioning, and then
Yeah.
Ariel Epstein says that's strange.
Yeah.
Bill pops in. We need to fix.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the first
All right.
time this has
Let me
happened.
jump
The fix
in.
is already in. We don't,
Bill
Not the
hasn't
first
done
time
enough
this has
cheating.
happened.
Bill hasn't done enough cheating on podcasts this week. Let's let it roll.
Well,
he got to
remember
pick 10 in a
two
row.
weeks ago we had the Minnesota -1.5 debacle against Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
And
right.
everybody
right,
else
right.
had 2.5. We're not sure where that point came from, and now they got a half point on a key number on the game. Which, by the way, I don't think Denver's been 6.5 all week, so that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good call. Good catch, Raheem. I would have thought I was going to be mad at Raheem the way you set it up, but yeah. Good. What the hell? Of course that's 7.
Sal has
Garbage.
responded to this group text saying Bill apparently hasn't done enough cheating on podcasts this week. Sad.
What a creep. I mean, I guess, it's the ball. It's like, yeah, all right. Just a caddy to toss Trump's ball on the green, even though it's all in the freaking rough. All right. We'll do whatever we want. All right. Let's do our hate bet. I hate that Simmons. What did he say? We are 10-15. We didn't also need a cheating scandal. You did need a cheating scandal. Yes. Yes. If you're 10-15, if you're 15-10, you don't need it. Okay. I'm going to go Flacco 2+ touchdown passes +290. I hate this. This is my hate bet because I don't even think he makes them a lot better, but they should be behind enough. And you got Higgins and you got Chase fighting for jump balls and garbage time. I don't mind getting almost 3-1 odds here. He had 160 attempts in 4 games. So he lets it fly and he's all they have. Could you see it being 40-21? Give me almost 3-1 odds on Flacco 2+ touchdown passes. Heifetz, what do you got? You like this game too.
This is good. It's funny. We do the hate bet, and I'm kind of like, I interpreted it as the bet I will hate myself for making, which maybe it's just a window to my psychology. But I kind of was like, Bengals 14.5. I would never bet that. I'm like, I bet that's going to cover. I can't imagine betting on Flacco this week. I'm like, I bet they're going to go garbage time back to recover, and I hate myself. But I like 2 pass touchdowns too, because even if they're getting blown out, like they're not going to run the ball very well. Like I think you're right. I think 2 pass touchdowns hit, and the Bengals kind of covered this game, which is an insane thing to say. But
Right.
yeah, that's the definitely thing I hate myself the most for thinking.
Dabbundo, this one isn't as fun. What are you doing here? What is this?
No,
Gadsden?
That's my prop. You
Oh,
got any
okay.
props?
Oh, I review.
No, his hate bet's
No.
Dodgers winning the World Series because he's
Yeah,
the guy
I
had
hate
the
it.
Da Vinci Code just hitting himself with the whip in the back.
It should be
Did
my
you-
team.
Did you have a play?
FanDuel's no longer offering
Right.
a hate bet on the. I can't bet the Phillies to win the World Series anymore, so I'm gonna have to bet them for
I think you bet
27.
him to win next year's World Series. That's,
Next year is
that's
not
up
our
there.
year. 27
Yeah.
is our year. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's when Ryan Howard comes back.
Yep.
Okay.
He's
all
over
right.
it though.
I'm over it.
Let do
Ryan
your
Howard, by
prop
the way,
then
I
here.
saw him in Yankee Stadium a couple of months ago. He's looking great.
He was
with
there?
him and JJ. We were hanging out watching the Phils Yankees. He was
That's
one row in front of us. Great guy.
That's fun. But you do like this Oronde Gadsden for your prop, right?
Yeah, so over 15.5 receiving yards. Gadsden, go orange, has seen his target share go up considerably in the recent weeks, and now the Chargers have no O-line, so they're going to have to be throwing the ball. And Miami has the most yards allowed and the worst DVOA against tight ends this year. Their middle of the defense is just a complete sieve. So I think Gadsden has a decent game here. This may be his breakout game depending on how you qualify breakout, because we only need 16 yards. So maybe he's not exactly lighting up the fantasy boards on Monday if he has 16 yards, but he'll get at least 16, I think, more often than not. So give me Gadsden. What an endorsement!
I'm struggling too. I'm going Ryan Flournoy for a touchdown for the Cowboys. Yeah, exactly. Plus 310. Look, 6th-round pick last year. Likable player. Dak likes him, which is all that matters. He had 9 targets last week, 414 yards, including a 46-yarder. One of these weeks he's going to hit pay dirt, and why not against the Panthers? That'll help your 107 pick there, Heifetz. Ryan Flournoy.
I like your. You guys got these deep cuts. Aronda Gadsden, Ryan Flournoy. I have this deep cut. This guy named Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, okay.
Over 28.5 rushing yards. The Chiefs Lions, which it's incredible we've gotten this far without talking Chiefs Lions this week, but Mahomes over 28.5 rushing yards. He's hit this 3 times. He had 60 yards last week. He had 66 yards versus the Eagles. He had 57 yards versus the Chargers. Literally every competitive game, Mahomes is doubling or tripling this number. And the non-competitive games where they were winning is the only ones where he didn't run. But the Chiefs are playing the Lions. He's going to have to run. The Lions play man coverage even with the cornerbacks being down. I kind of think Mahomes is going to shatter this number, and I would do alt lines too, over 28, over 30, over 40. Like Mahomes is probably going to have 50 rushing yards in this game, so I like that.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to write that down.
I root for Rondé Gadsden too. I don't know, tomato. You like watching?
I remember the days we used to be able to get 6-1 on Mahomes to score a touchdown. I looked this week plus 250.
Yeah. Well, how many is he? Does he have 3 games this year where he scored a touchdown? Is it 3? Yep. Yeah. Unbelievable.
The reason I don't want to talk about Chiefs Lions is because I'm only allowed to bring up CLV once per podcast. And, we on the Monday show we bet over 48.5 and it's 52.5. So now again, look at us.
All right. Yeah, these numbers fly. You got to be on them. Well, one thing I wanted to mention, weren't like 7+ point favorites 9-0 at some point, like the first 3 weeks or something. It was like at least 9-0. There have been 4 7+ point game losers in the last calendar week. 3 of them night games, right? Rams started this bullshit. Bills were 7.5 point favorite, and then last night. So I don't know. Maybe it doesn't bode well.
And the worst of them all, Sal.
Yeah,
the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to mention that, but yeah, it didn't fit into. That should have been a night game, like 4 a.m.
They should put the Titans in prime time more often.
Jesus.
So we can all collectively have it, and they should just label it comedy.
I can't wait to see how we're going to get killed. We don't have the luxury of changing the line like Bill Simmons does. So we just have to sit there and take our beatings on Sunday. All right, let's take another break. Then we got college and we have Handy Clip It, and we'll get the hell out of here. All right, real quick, NCAA, Ohio State favorite to win this whole thing, plus 430, Oregon plus 550. This Texas-Oklahoma game opened... Well, it opened even more. Like over the summer, I think it was Texas 5.5 or something. They were 2.5 to begin the week. It went to 1.5, and now the Sooners are favored by 1.5. Dabbundo, I don't know about this. This is a tough spot for Mateer. I know he's great. He's probably better than Arch Manning, all said and done. But still a hand surgery. Weird game to come in and be favored in, I think.
Agree. If anything, I'd bet the under here. I love the Venables defense against mediocre to bad quarterbacks. And now we have a Venables defense against a mediocre to bad quarterback here. So this game should be controlled by both defenses. Mateer, the one thing is he brings so much with the running game when he's out there, assuming he plays. Right. But like, how much are they running him here?
Mm-hmm.
On one hand, you need him, right? It's a close game against a big rival. But on the other hand, no pun intended, he only has one.
On the other hand, he has one good hand.
On the one injured hand, he has this. On the other mangled hand.
Yeah. On the other hand, he only has one of them, so they might not want to run him as much. So it'd be under nothing for me here. I feel like it's hard.
This is one of those things where it's like, I agree with what you're saying, and it's like, yeah, you bet against Arch. It's Red River. It's a fun game to bet on. Arches look bad, but I'm like, if Oklahoma plays poorly, you're like, holy shit, I bet on a quarterback who got hand surgery like 12 days ago. Like,
that's why you bet the under. You bet against both teams, Heifetz.
Heifetz, we were trying the other day to figure out a new name for this rivalry because they really PC'd it up. It used to be Red Rifle, right? And then Red Rivalry or something. Well, now it's Red River Rivalry.
Andy Dalton was
Red Rifle?
Oh yeah. It was red something else. It was like red. I don't know. Now the best we came up with was red dye bowl because red dye is really taking a hit. RFK Jr. is all over the red dye, and
Yeah.
it scares the shit
Dangerous.
out of everybody. Right? Yes, I think that's what we need. We need some more danger in the title, but that's something to think about. Something else to think about. Heifetz, you're taking Mizzou plus 3.5 against Bama. These SEC games, there's going to be like 3 of these every week until Thanksgiving, and it's going to shake up the conference. Even though people think Alabama might be the best in the conference, only laying 3.5, you're not buying it. You're taking Missouri.
I like Mizzou, man. I like Drinkowitz, and I hate Bama's coach. I
Hmm.
not hate strong. I
It's
don't. He's
okay.
talking about wearing his lucky black hoodie for these games, and I'm like, everyone can be superstitious. I'm superstitious. I don't want the coach being superstitious. I don't like
Right.
that he's talking about wearing a lucky hoodie. I'm like, you should probably talk about things that you're the only one that actually gets to control the entire game.
Hmm.
I don't trust him at all. I like
All
Mizzou.
right. Mizzou is the
Hmm.
pick. Dabbundo, you don't have a featured game, but this is a slap around, come back to earth game. Michigan State against UCLA. There's the travel thing. You'll get to it. What is it? 8.5?
It is 8.5. I do want to say that I received a tweet from an Owls hater the other
Uh-huh.
day, and for saying
Temple
that
Owls or the
yeah,
bird? Just like a
Did
weird
they
the
hate
idea.
Temple
owls or
Owls.
hate
Yeah.
temples? Because those are
They
different
hate
kinds of
Temple
haters.
Owls, but I just want to say that the Owls are 4-1 this year against the spread.
Right.
In the gambling community, we respect the head coach Casey Keeler.
Oh,
I'm not betting Temple this week. However, I do like Michigan State at home in the ultimate. Like, good job beating Penn State
right.
last week, UCLA. Now you got to come across the country. You're still one of the worst teams in the Power Four. Nico Iamaleava had his Heisman moment last week, taking down
Hmm.
big bad Penn State. But I mean, let's be honest about Penn State at this point. They're 0-5 against the spread. They haven't covered against anybody. They underperformed offensively in every
Right.
game. So that win doesn't carry nearly as much weight for me as much as it is a loss for Penn State. So give me the Spartans to win by double digits at home.
Yeah, UCLA before last week didn't have a lead in any game for any minute. Any
They
minute
lost
or
to New
second.
Mexico
That's
by
why
20.
I just cracked up when you said
Awful.
his Heisman moment, and I'm like, they were.
Well, you have to remember, Heifetz, I bet him to win the Heisman last year
Yeah.
after week
Speaking
one.
of
Thought I was so sharp. It
Heisman,
was like 20-1. He got down to like 8-1, and then he completely cratered from that point forward. It was great.
we got the odds for Heisman right now, and it's Dante Moore plus 500, Carson Beck plus 600. We talked about this earlier in the week with Tate. I feel like Carson Beck, they're going to be favorites all the way through. So that's a nice number. But as far as Dante Moore goes, he's been great and in big spots, and the defense I think is even bigger. And that's why I'm telling you, this is a perfect teaser game. When I try to sneak this into the outline last week, because FanDuel had this on the listed games, even though it was supposed to be, what is it, October 10th or October 11th, they were 10.5. Now they're 7.5. So they're in the perfect teaser zone. I'm going to take advantage of this inexplicable swing. And I think Fernando Mendoza, IU quarterback, also on that list of Heisman hopefuls, falls off as a candidate. He had trouble at Iowa. He's going to Autzen Stadium. It's a much bigger task to get things done. Not a lot of big play guys on Indiana, and field position's not going to be a friend of the Hoosiers. The Ducks have allowed 1 sack and turned the ball over once. It was an interception against Northwestern. What score did I have for this, Dabbundo, earlier in the week? You're supposed to remember these. 30-23 win for
So,
Oregon. Basically punched their ticket to the Big Ten championship game, I think. Yeah, go
My
ahead.
heart is warm. You're talking about teasers again. All is right in the world.
Hmm.
Warren Sharp scared you and Bill off teasers like 5 years ago, and it's so nice to have you back.
I do the money line parlays more. Not that that's yielding any better results, but yes, if you can get within the 2.5, Raheem hates them too. He
Well,
said,
they're
I
talking
think,
about like math and like
yeah, I don't like
winning
math.
money,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, no, this
So
is America.
apparently,
I love a good tease. Like Carolina is a great tease piece this week. Who else is a good one?
there are people who say the only teasers you should make are when the point spread is 1.5, 2, or 2.5 plus, because then you're crossing 3 key lines. You're crossing +3, you're crossing +6, you're crossing +7, and getting to 7.5. But I don't listen to those people. I'd rather lose money week to week. Yeah, that's it.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, listen.
Not a ton
let's
of good teasers this week. Carolina, Dallas. Oh, no, sorry, not Dallas.
Well, listen,
Carolina, maybe Detroit but total's high.
Oh, you're saying for the taking underdog teasers. Yeah, you want to stay away from the 7-point favorites, right? Because I just read that. I don't know what the hell's going on. What's in the
The
air?
Rams could be a
they're all
good teaser
losing.
this week.
See, there you go. Rams and Colts, you would think right away,
Rams and
right?
Colts.
But then one of them has to lose. That's just how it is, Dabbundo.
Hopefully
Let's do
for our
some
sake,
handy
it's the
clipping.
Rams.
Let's do it. Handy clipping. I'm going to show you a clip, and I'm going to set odds accordingly. This is the first one. This is Tua, who is talking about football and not being on social media and says, doesn't matter win or lose, his kids are happy to see him. Let's take a look. What does this look like here?
Yeah, I would say it hasn't been as difficult this year, just because, as I've said in prior interviews, I'm not on social media. Like, I don't have any of that. And then outside of that, like, I go home, I see my kids, whether I throw 5 picks or 5 touchdowns, we win the game, we lose the game. I get to come home to my kids who are happy to see me every time.
All right. Well, I mean, I should hope so. I mean, that's a sad story, right? What a sad story it would be. Like, oh, dad threw interceptions, the team lost. Let's not talk to him when he gets home. So they're probably just glad to see him alive, right? The way he scrambles in the pocket. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to throw this out there, guys. Plus 750 that those kids, those same kids, are happy to see him after the Dolphins hand the Jets their first win on December 7th. I think they're like, we've had enough, Dad. What do you think, Heifetz?
Yeah, I think the kids are probably going to be sick of him by the end of the year. I think you're totally right. I think like he's kind of jinxing it. You know, I don't know if he's superstitious, but I feel like one day the kids are going to start asking about the interceptions, like big time. Like,
Right.
You're going to have to explain it at school. You're going to come home and be like, Dad, why does everyone call you Tua turn the ball over? You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be difficult there.
Yeah, or at least change the last name so that they don't have to go through that very specific exam that dig you talked about. Yeah, Dabbundo, what are these kids going to be happy with them when they lose to the Dolphins?
I've always wondered what it would be like to be a prominent yet like not elite athlete's kids. Because like if I were friends with this person or even friendly, I would never want to talk about it with them. And I would hate when people brought it up to me all the time.
Right.
I feel like it's an unexplored, undiscussed thing. Like we talk about the positives of like nepotism all the time. We don't talk about like that kind of side of it that often.
Yeah, Sal, what do you think about the positives of nepotism?
I haven't experienced either side for either way in the last however many years. No. Love the death threats. I'm glad they've very, very sad that they've subsided over the last couple of weeks, but I'm thinking they'll make a comeback anytime soon. Jesus Christ. All right.
What are they? Is FanDuel lines on that? Over under?
Yeah. They
How
should.
old are the kids aren't old enough yet to be betting against Tua on FanDuel. That is the day.
Right. That's true.
Like
That's
if your kids
There's
are old
age
enough,
verification.
if your
Right,
kids
right,
are
right.
old enough to start betting against you, that's a bad sign.
Yeah, well, maybe then they're even happier to see him at that point. All right, let's roll this
Dad, look
clip
at my
of-
parlay. I had you to throw an interception
Thanks, Dad. You're the
and
best.
the Jets to win.
Yeah. Now I can buy that stereo system. All right. All right. Let's roll this handy clipping. This is Jason Tatum dunking from basically right underneath the hoop. All right. So I kept looking at this, wondering what the big deal was. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, he tore his Achilles like 2 weeks ago. This he probably shouldn't be dunking like this. But let's just put it out there. Nothing funny about this, Heifetz. Over under 18 and a half games played for Jason Tatum this year. Looks like he's ready.
Over, and I think he's going to suck. I totally with over, and he's not going to play well. I'm with you. This is just like normal rehab, and it just is on video. I mean, he's a basketball player. He's supposed to
Yeah.
dunk the ball. The surgery was like 4 months ago. Cam
Okay.
Akers tore his Achilles and played in the NFL 5 months later. He sucked, but he's supposed to return the court within 150 days after the surgery. Like, that's not crazy. This is just people have no idea what rehab is like. And there's a video and people are like, oh, meanwhile, they're hiding the other leg, which is totally atrophied. And it's on
Right.
the other side of the video. The other leg looks like skeletal. Yeah,
Interesting.
He's not going to be good. I don't know what to say. Came off an Achilles injury. He's not magically better.
So wait, that's an interesting. So you say over 18 and a half games, but he's going to suck. I would think if he sucked, he'd be like, no, I got to sit a little more here. But what do you think, Dabbundo?
So I asked Bill this a couple weeks ago. and I said, give me the over/under for when Jason Tatum returns this season. He said March 3rd.
And then he changed it on FanDuel to March 4th. Sorry,
Correct.
That's a joke about that. Yeah, go ahead. March 3rd. Okay, what is that?
That would give him 21 games. So if you
wow,
trust
that was
line,
a good line for me.
Go over.
Yeah.
You said a pretty good line. Yeah.
But that was before we saw these fantastic.
This text
slam
was a couple
dunk.
weeks ago. Yeah.
By the way, should that be the dunk competition? Like just like basically physically impaired athletes just trying to dunk like that? We've tried everything else. Right?
The Pro Bowl just becomes all the injured guys trying to do a 100-yard dash, all the ACL patients.
Right. All the comeback player of the year guys. All right. One more real quick. This Blue Jays pitcher overlay. I don't know. They show like 8 pitchers throwing to a Yankee who can't hit the ball. Let's see this here. There it is. What does this mean? What is this? The point of this? Is this just cool to look at? Or was the batter supposed to hit any of these? What does this mean, Dabbundo, when they do this?
Well, what it mean, by the way, and look, we spent a lot of time talking about the Phillies' inability to hit and lose to the Dodgers. Danny Heifetz, so who's your baseball team?
Dude, the Yankees suck. I know. I actually was
shocked. What happened?
That video was actually...
I almost made it through the whole show.
I had it saved. I was going to bring it up earlier, but I had it saved because I knew this clip was coming.
Good for you.
That video is all of the Blue Jays' awful relievers. The Blue Jays are a bottom 10 bullpen this year.
Right.
Yet, John Schneider and the masterful plan they put together in Game 4 made the Yankees look like
the Phillies.
The Pirates.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Tomato. I actually think the Phillies and Yankees are similar in that I think the Phillies fans, that poor reliever is going to get run out of time. Poor Orion's going to have to go to Orion's belt or somewhere. But same story where Phillies fans know, like, the bats just didn't show up. And pitching was great for the Phillies, and the bats didn't show up. And honestly, the Yankees the same thing, like the hit dingers.
The Yankees pitching didn't show up either.
No, not really. But Bill always jokes that the Ravens and Lamar are like the James Harden Rockets. I think that's a crazy comparison. The Yankees are like the James Harden Rockets, where it's like 3-pointers all regular season. It's like homers all regular season. You get to the playoffs, you can't put the goddamn ball in play. You know what the Blue Jays do? They put the ball into the freaking field, and they have batting average, and they get on base, and they make contact.
They also
Yankees
hit 9
can't
homers.
Make contact. They almost hit. Yeah, everyone was played well. Whatever.
Vlad hit like 4 homers in the first.
That was a
games.
softball team.
That
was like a comfortable softball team just going up there and raking. So, yeah.
Anyway,
but what about these eight pitches? If we stood up and batted against that, and we swung, and it really was 8 pitchers at once throwing, or however many it is, odds that any of us would put it in fair territory. Any of the 8 pitches thrown at once, plus 1,500. Heifetz,
Are we allowed to bunt?
Will we make contact?
I think I could bunt.
Bryson Stott over there. You think you could bunt?
Great bunting team.
No, you gotta take a swing.
Team, the Phillies.
You gotta take a swing.
Can I
There's 8
check a swing?
We're not getting it, right?
If I have a hurling bat, maybe I could do it. You know, I don't know.
Then I'd be less
great hurling.
How many? Oh yeah, the hurling bat. What? So how many would it take before we hit somebody? Like 16 pitches?
I think it's 16 pitches. You might be able to put a ball. That's a great question. 16.
These are not individual pitches. This is the same. Everything's coming at the same time. So if you swing through the zone, you should be able to make a dribbler to the third baseline, right?
Can you hit a dribbler back to the mound and then reach base when the pitcher throws it away?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I'd love to say yes. In reality, if 16 Major League Baseball pitchers all threw a ball, I would definitely just duck and like jump down and hide in the dirt. I think that would be my real reaction.
Hide in the dirt.
Hiding.
I would wear a flak jacket and like multiple helmets.
Let me ask you this. I know Mikey Meatball's losing his mind because we're late here and we still have Ross Tucker, but I have this theory. Let's say Judge is up, right? You have a pitcher and you have a catcher, and you bring all 7 fielders in on Judge. So they're about a foot away from Judge. You have 3 on his left, 4 on his right. And as long as they're in fair territory, this is a legal alignment, right? If you had 7 guys jumping up and down as the pitcher threw to Judge, catcher, would he make contact? Isn't that too distracting for anyone to ever make contact? 7 guys.
So Sal, are you volunteering to be that guy?
First of all, yeah,
one of the 7. Yeah, sure.
120 miles an hour.
Seven Jays outfielders versus 1 Judge.
Wait, I'm fascinated by this.
Are you understanding what I'm saying, though?
I am.
Not really.
Here's
not at all.
Really? Okay.
No, this is like I always wonder about.
Didn't they do this in the Bananas game last week?
They should. It's going to be effective.
I like this. This reminds me of I always wondered why they don't get the fattest guy in the world to be a goalie. But Sal, to your point, is that illegal?
Right.
Can you do? I've never thought of this.
As long as everyone's lined up in fair territory, it's legal. The catcher is the only position player that's allowed to line up in foul territory. Everybody else can put whatever. Are you saying that's an illegal shift?
Up and down like 5 feet away from the batter in the line of vision.
I want to look this up, but I think so. Unless the shift laws or rules are prohibiting
that would be
this.
the biggest hazard of all time. If they get hit in the face, they're dead.
That's
He's
why
not
you have a
making
terrible player
contact.
let Caballero do it or someone you don't need. It's fine.
Yeah, you cover your face and jump up and down. You're fine. I think that's it.
Sal,
I'm gonna draw
this
this
is the
out
new
for you. I don't think
Moneyball.
Dabbundo. The what? The new Moneyball? Yeah.
This is the new Moneyball.
This is the new tush push.
Yeah.
It's going to be boring as shit to watch, but it's going to be effective. Let's see.
Also,
There you go.
if the guy's not a pull hitter, he won't hit the guy, so you're fine. You just stay
Right.
in the waves.
Nobody's getting a hit there. All right. Danny, you want to say a few words about Sister Jean?
Yeah, I mean,
Floor's yours.
God, I was gonna. The Jewish person maybe isn't the right person to send a nun to the afterlife, but
You're sitting Shiva for Sister Jean?
sitting Shiva for Sister Jean, exactly.
A great woman
the
who
water
inspired
up
many
There you
throughout her
go.
years of service to the community and to the basketball community. The college basketball community will miss Sister Jean. May she
Right.
rest in peace.
There you go. That's the way to do it, Dabbundo. There you go.
go.
And I think Belichick's job is safe now. That Sister Jean has left us. Very sad. Also, don't retire. She retired. They announced she retired 2 weeks ago. Poor lady. She couldn't even enjoy the retirement.
They say
Very
retirement's the death of you when you get older, and like
There you go. That's it.
killed her.
All right. Rest in peace, Sister Jean. Rest in peace, our Ringer 107 picks, Dabbundo. I can't wait to see how they go down. Let us do. Oh, we're not done yet because I had a nice sit down discussion with Ross Tucker, and here's how that went. All right, let's bring in our guest. He's a great friend of the show, such a great friend. This guy and the show are actually getting matching tennis bracelets. It's true. He is the host of the Ross Tucker podcast. You could follow him at Ross Tucker NFL on social media and ask him any question you want at futurefans.com. By far the best way to get your kids to love and understand football. Ross Tucker, what's happening, buddy?
Sal, what's up, man? What's happening is it just goes faster and faster every year. Hard to believe it's week 6 already. And that's honestly why I teamed up with the Future Fans guys. I'm trying to get my kids to actually watch the games with me. I think these guys have cracked the code. They're Bengals fans. They came up with a storybook with activities so that a 6-year-old or an 8-year-old actually understands the rules of football. And the idea is, I've talked to a bunch of people before I invested, that they'll end up loving it enough that they'll sit there and they'll watch a game with you. So
now, once you get them on the couch, they're going to have questions, right? Like, what is a catch as deemed by the NFL? What would you say?
Guess what? Guess what they're asking me now?
What
so
are
you'll
they?
appreciate this. What game was it? They came over because my game last weekend was Navy Air Force. So I did Niners Rams radio Thursday night, and I did college football Navy Air Force. So I'm here Sunday morning, and my older one says, Sal, who do we want to win? Browns Vikings, right? And I said, well, actually, we don't really care. We just want as few points as possible. And she's like, wait, why? I said, well, I have this betting podcast. It's called the Even Money Betting Podcast. And I highly recommend it to everybody to take what's called the under. And I think it was under 36.5. So we just don't want points. She was like, now I blew her mind. Like, now she's so confused how I'm rooting for them to not score points in this game. And somehow Dylan Gabriel is pretty good and puts up some points, and they run for 100 yards. And the Browns might have the best defense in the NFL, and Wentz goes 80 yards for the game-winning touchdown. It's, so anyway, it went over is the short.
It's so fun. No, I know. Yeah, it did go over, but I like the idea of you saying, kids, gather around. This is going to be great. We're going to root for nothing to happen. And that's going to turn them around. Hey, you brought up the Browns defense was supposed to be great. And a lot of people are like, oh, the Ravens defense is horrible. And what's with the Eagles? And I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm impressed by any defense this year, right? Like maybe if we see the version of the Broncos we saw against Philly on Sunday, maybe that one. But does any defense really scare you right now?
Well, I do think the Browns defense is really good. That was not their finest moment on the last drive against the Vikings, but they're pretty darn good. And they got some young guys playing, which is encouraging. Mason Graham, the first-round pick at D tackle, Schlesinger, the linebacker, the second round pick. They look like the best defense in the league to me. But some of these other ones, I just can't believe it. Like, if you would have told me the Jets defense would be this bad, it's hard to believe. Like, they've invested so much in that defense. They bring in Aaron Glenn, and they haven't even slowed down anybody. They haven't forced a turnover yet. I'm not exactly sure that I have figured out exactly what's going on there. We're in this weird zone where there's not like any dominant defenses, but there aren't really very many defenses that are just getting torched every week either, because they're all playing so much of this, whatever you want to call it, shell or too high coverage to try to prevent the explosive plays. So I almost feel like, Sal, this is as much of a middling year as I can remember, both offensively and defensively. I mean, look, the Lions offense is awesome. The Colts offense is awesome. But there aren't that many offenses where you're like, wow, like this is the greatest show on turf stuff. And then defensively, I mean, there's no 85 Bears out there. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think, yes, maybe the answer is the defenses have had a tough time catching up in the first month, but that's counterbalanced by the fact that we have a lot of backup quarterbacks in there, right? So maybe that's it. And a lot of penalties. Yes,
penalties.
Exactly.
It's, they told us before the year in the seminar that last year we averaged over 6, I think, pre-snap penalties per game. That's the most in the NFL since like 2006.
That's a lot.
And I think there's a couple of reasons for it. They don't play at all in the preseason, but also there's so many motions, shifts, formations, and rightfully so. You're trying to decipher as much information from the defense as possible before you snap the ball. Right. But then you see all these like big plays that go back. And I've said it a long time. I'll say it to you here. If I were commissioner for one day, my number one thing would be I would get on a conference call with all the officials. Hey, guys, when in doubt, don't throw the flag. Like, if you're sure, I've been on these meetings, Sal. They're told that it's supposed to be clear and obvious. Well, they clearly throw the flag on certain things that are not clear and obvious, and it just kind of bogs down the game. It bums everybody out. Nobody is cheering for a flag except if it's like a pass interference that helps their team down the field.
Yeah, I think replay has made that worse, especially on the tush push, which I won't even get into it with you because I hate it. I know you don't hate it as much, but the fact that there's slow motion replay of the linemen moving and everyone crowded on the ball, you're not doing the refs any favors. Did I read something the other day where receivers are now not going to be allowed to ask the refs if they're lined up correctly? Because that could have had even more penalties.
No, they're allowed to ask, but what happens is just because you ask doesn't mean you're necessarily on or off.
Oh, they can play a joke on you, the referees. I like that.
You're trying to tell the ref that you're either on or you're off. And you check with him because you want to make sure if you're on, you're up as far as you need to be. And if you're off, but you're not off too far. So you kind of check with the guy. Well, what's been happening now is these guys will like check with the ref and he'll be like, yeah, you're good. And then they'll step forward. And then they're like offsides. It's like, well, no, like I told you were good where you were, not what you did. Like, it's almost like you were talking about kids earlier. It's like, just because if my child asked me for a cookie and I say, yes, you could have a cookie, that didn't mean 10. You got permission for a cookie. You didn't get permission for 10 cookies, just like you got permission for where you're lined up, not to say, okay, I'm good now. Okay, I'll go 2 steps forward to try to get an advantage.
Right. The 10 cookie thing is something I could attest to. And yes, I'm willing to be a pawn in your demonstration here. Did not work out. All right. I'm going to ask you a question as a kid would. If you were the Arizona Cardinals general manager and only could find one person for his on-field actions last Sunday, either Amari DiMercato or Jonathan Gannon, who would you choose?
DiMercato. Yeah, I mean, I've seen the Gannon video like 10 times. It's like grainy, and I don't even see what he's doing. I mean, I guess that looks like there was some type of contact was made. Did he do like a finger in the chest? Or I can't even tell. There's an offensive lineman with his hand around him, Paris Johnson. So I don't know what happened. I would say I do think it's smart to find a coach if there's any contact with a player. That's a really bad idea. You know, Sal, when I was playing, I was average at best, right? But if I was starting and I was out there, I mean, I'm 6'4.5". I was 315, 320 pounds. Like, I was of the mindset that I was the biggest, baddest dude out there, and anybody that messed with me, I was going to kill him, right? So I wouldn't recommend coaches without any equipment on having any physical contact with a player ever. I think that's a really bad idea that could go exceptionally poorly.
Yeah.
The DiMercato thing is fascinating because
he may not have had the killer instinct you talk about, having fumbled the ball right at the goal line, but I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Everybody keeps saying, what are these guys thinking? Hey, they're clearly not thinking. Do you think when the guy's running, he's like, you know, it'll be hilarious if I drop the ball right before I score like A.D. Mitchell did last week? That'll just be amazing. No, it's something in our subconscious where you're running for 70 yards. You know how fast you are. You can't wait to get there. And it's like, because it's happened so many times now that this is obviously like a flaw in the human brain that we have not figured out yet, because none of these guys are doing this on purpose. Now, what they need to do is train it so many times that they don't even think about it till they're out of the back of the end zone, just to get their brain right.
I wonder if you're right, because it's not a showboating thing. We've seen those, right, where they hold it right at the goal line and then drop it. That's a different story. This, I don't know, maybe paint the end zone a different color. You have to wait. There's the end zone, and then the color changes like a yard into the end zone, and that's when you could drop the ball. I don't know what it is. I know I lost money on that, and I was furious, and I don't know if it's $100,000. I get it. These coaches shouldn't be hitting players. I thought it was just a swipe of the pads myself. I wasn't sure. It certainly didn't look like a punch, which is like all the people trying to make me look like an asshole.
I had him I had the Cardinals on the Even Money podcast paired up with 4 different teasers.
Awful.
And I had him down to -2.5. And I got to tell you, I've been associated with the NFL since my rookie year, 2001. Between that and the interception when it's 21-9, you're up by 12. You pick it off, fumble it. Your other guy picks it up, drops it. They score a touchdown as a result. A touchdown.
Kicks it around. Yeah.
Because even a field goal, it's 21-12. That is like, that might have been the worst loss I've ever seen. That is up there. And now they got to play at the Colts. So, I mean, let's assume they lose the Colts. 3-3 you can live with the losses being to the Seahawks, the Niners, and the Colts. 2-4. No good. Now the Cardinals have problems, major problems.
Who's winning the AFC North this year? And did the Flacco trade change your mind?
Flacco trade does nothing. The Flacco trade to me is like, I think they're trying to sell the fans and maybe even the locker room hope. But Sal, I don't think Burrow's coming back this year. He's not coming back this year. So it's almost like they want to try to keep it going that he might come back this year. I highly doubt it. I think the AFC North winner is either the Steelers or the Ravens. I think they finish with 9 or 10 wins. You know, for the Ravens, it depends on when Lamar gets back, but they're still so talented that I think when they get him back, they'll go on a run. They'll finish up probably 10-7 would be my guess. Maybe 9-8. I still think that's where Pittsburgh will be. Pittsburgh hasn't overly impressed me. I'm shocked Pittsburgh's 3-1 with their defense being like average so far. So I think both those teams end up at 9, maybe 10 wins, battling it out for the division title. But they might it might only get one team in. So you might need to win it to get in.
Yeah, and I think the odds makers agree with you. One's plus 110, one's plus 115 to win the division. What the Ravens have going for them is, of course, like you said, they get Lamar back. They have 2 against the Steelers, heads up.
Yes.
But they are 2.5 games out right now and could be 3.5 if Pittsburgh beats Cleveland and the Ravens lose this week. But then they go on their bye. So it's interesting. It's getting
the other thing they
dicey.
have going for them is that they're clearly the best team.
Right.
But not always the best team wins it. I'll tell you what, if you would have told me a month ago that the top 2 teams in the Ross Tucker Football Podcast Power Rankings would be the Detroit Lions and the Indianapolis Colts, I would not have believed you. The Lions had gotten absolutely annihilated by the Packers. Annihilated.
Mm-hmm.
And the Colts, it's like, come on. I mean, Daniel Jones and the Colts, Sal, they're the real deal. I did their game against the Titans.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care who you're playing in the NFL. Out of their 4 wins, 3 of them were straight up blowouts. That is not easy to do in the NFL, where you're just destroying the other team. The Dolphins, the Raiders, the Titans. Then they beat the Broncos. Could have gone either way. But the Rams game, if Alec Pierce just plays with a concussion and A.D. Mitchell doesn't give up 2 touchdowns with those 2 plays, they win at the Rams, maybe even by 2 scores. Right. So you just think about how good the Colts really are. I think they're really that good.
Well, when they go 3 weeks and punt like only once, you have to start paying attention to them. They're playing defense. Jonathan Taylor's probably going to win the rushing title. Yeah, they're a good team. Let me ask you this. Does Dylan Gabriel have a chance this week to solidify himself in your mind as this year's most impressive rookie quarterback?
Ooh.
Could he just, if he has a good game this week, he's like, you know what? He's better than Ward. He's better than I've seen out of Dart. Or you're going to have to see like 3 or 4 from him.
Well, I said this on Sunday morning watching it. By the way, you'll love this.
Yeah.
I did a college game in 2019. And it was UCF it was East Carolina at UCF. Okay. UCF's true freshman quarterback was a kid named Dylan Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
His top receiver was Gabe Davis.
Oh, yeah.
Gabe Davis is in his 6th year in the NFL. Gabe Davis played 4 years for the Bills, got a huge contract from the Jags, was there last year, had a bad year, got released. He's back with and Dylan Gabriel just started his first game in the NFL. I mean, it's it's wild. But I will say this. I thought he looked really, really good. Now, everybody wants him to light it up or whatever. As I posted on social at Ross Tucker NFL, he doesn't look like a rookie. You know, when he was pressured, ball was out. They'd run a bootleg, and the Vikings guy was right in his face. He would loft it over his head, complete the pass. Let's put it this way. You can tell he's played a lot of football.
Yeah.
And I like that he's getting this chance. I think he deserves it.
Yeah, it's like you say, he doesn't look like a rookie. He's like he has had 6 years of high-level starts in college, right? So, yeah.
I would love to know the total, too, of how much money he made. Between Oklahoma and Oregon, I mean, he's like some of these guys come into the NFL now in such good shape financially. It's hilarious.
Right. It's the Ross Tucker Podcast. You can follow him
Ross
on
Tucker
social media.
Podcast and Even Money Betting Podcast. If you're into end college draft, if you like to bet on college games.
Oh, my God, so much. Futurefans.com. There you go. Thanks for jumping on, Ross. That does it for another episode of Ringer Gambling Show. For Anthony Dabbundo, Danny Heifetz, and Ross Tucker, I'm Sal saying so long, and may your parlays be prosperous. Must be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. You must be 21 or older and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 877-8-HOPE-NEW YORK or text HOPE New York in New York